up, everyone? How you doing? It's Mark Starr from thehopry.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at another sour ale. This one comes from Fort Collins, Colorado, in the form of New Belgium. So we're all familiar with this beer here, which is the La Folie, which is a very, very sour ale. This one's going to be a lot similar to that, at least from what I've read. The main difference, though, is that this one has really been dry hopped with a lot of Amarillo hops. And Amarillo hops traditionally will give you sort of that mango or peach-like character. So I'm really intrigued by that, really wanting to get a better understanding of, you know, what a really heavy dry hopping can do to a sour ale. This one also is part of their Lips of Faith series, and it clocks in at 7.5%, released not too long ago, at least here in the Kansas City market. So again, I've had this one kind of sitting in the refrigerator. I knew I wanted to try it at some point, so I bought it and have been hanging on to it now for, you know, maybe 4 to 6 weeks. But regardless of that, let's go ahead and pour some in a glass, and let's get into this one, because again, you know, I really love sour ales. I really love hoppy IPAs. So to really kind of combine that, I think is, you know, going to be a pretty interesting concept here. So, well, the color on it, you know, got this really nice warm yellow color. It's slightly hazy, so you can tell that there's, you know, probably a good amount of hops in there. Sour ales, you know, traditionally tend to be a little bit hazy anyway, but I think it's really the hops on here that are giving it that color. Really a beautiful head, though. You know, we talk a lot about off-white colored heads, tan colored heads. This one is virtually white. I mean, it's about as white of a head as I've seen. This is traditionally the color you would see on like a wit beer or a white ale, something like that. But yeah, not a bad looking beer. Amazing looking head on it, though. You know, just giving it a little swirl, you get this really nice consistency with the bubbles, and I like that. That really means it's a well-crafted beer. So with that said, let's go ahead and smell it, though, and see what we get. I'm definitely getting that, you know, New Belgian sour character. In fact, my mouth is just really watering right now because I can tell that this is going to be really puckeringly tart. It's got this really nice lemony acidity. I'm definitely getting some hop character out of there. Maybe not so much like a peach, but definitely getting something bright and citrusy. Definitely like some orange, some lemon peel. You know, really a good, clean, sour smelling beer, though. Well, anyway, here we go, guys. Cheers. Wow, that thing is really tart. And I'm definitely getting some good bitterness from the hops that they've added here. You know, most sour ales don't traditionally have a whole lot of bitterness. It's usually just that they're very tart, very astringent, very tangy. That's the case with this one. But I am getting a little bit of that hop character, so really tasting that sort of peachy and mango character from those Amarillo hops. Really loads of that, you know, citric acid, you know, like, you know, straight lemon juice, maybe even like a sour apple. So really reminds me a lot of the La Folie, where that one's more of, you know, like a darker, richer red style beer. This one's more on the pale end, but, you know, really getting about that same amount of tartness. La Folie has always been a very overly sour tart beer to me. I wouldn't say this is quite there. It's pretty close, but I am really intrigued by, you know, the hop character that's kind of in there as well. Definitely, you know, an easy drinking beer in this style for a really hot day like today. You know, this really reminds me of the Cantillon Iris. Not sure if you guys have had that one or not, but the thing about the Cantillon Iris is that It's basically a goose that's been dry hopped really heavily. And this is very similar to that one. If I'm just, wanting to give you kind of a ballpark idea of where this situates itself and kind of what it tastes like, it doesn't have as much of a funky character that you're going to get from like a Cantillon or Driefonteinen, or Hansen, something, really Belgian. But there's definitely this clean tartness, very crisp, very sharp, but definitely hoppy, So I would try to get one of these as soon as you can and enjoy it. I can imagine that the hops are probably going to die out quite a bit over time. But for right now, really enjoy this beer. Not sure how high I'm going to rate this one. It's definitely kind of around that, B+ to A- range. I'm going to sit here and kind of drink the rest of this bottle, take my time with it, maybe finish watching some Friday Night Lights, which, man, if you guys haven't seen that show, the first 3 seasons of that is probably some of the best television I have ever seen. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this session. Until we get together next time, cheers.